All right. So the Four of Wands. All right, the Four of Wands is actually a really beautiful card. This card represents resting, but also happiness, a first completion. So for some of you, there's so many emotions coming in right now. It's like ping-ponging all over the energy on this card being your theme of the month. And the reason being is because the Four of Wands is, it's generally a resting or happiness between two people. Now, I'm kind of getting the vibe that this is a resting or happiness within yourself, or figuring out, like, I feel like some of you are going, like, jumping for joy. Like, I finally figured out exactly what it is that I want, or what's going to make me happy. Like, I've completed this step of understanding what I have in my life, understanding my blessings of whether I'm with this person or not, or whether we are ever going to be together again. I understand the things that make up my life. It doesn't end all be all with this other person. Anything I want can transpire, whether it's being together again with this person, whether it's finding somebody new. The Four of Wands is almost like you've understood now. You've realized what it is to grow. You understand what you've already achieved, what's possible, what you're already capable of. Yes, you want, love or some sort of partnership, or some sort of, even if right now all you can handle is dating or getting out to meet people, or even just building friendships, that's fine. The Four of Wands is saying you've discovered what you're happy with in life and what you're not happy with in life, and what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on. So I really like this opening for you, because it's almost like it doesn't matter if you get back together with this person or not. You're understanding what's important to you, what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. The next card you have is your current position coming into the play, into December. And you have the Page of Wands. So if you've seen my reads, this is a major communication card for me, because this is a spark. It's a curiosity. It's a confidence. So somebody's going to get up and maybe it's because of the holidays coming up, who knows, but somebody's going to be getting up the bravery, I guess, so to speak. Some of you are probably like, Dark Dove, it's more like cowardly, like maybe they've been a coward for a long time. But the Page of Wands is some sort of communication coming in. Now, this could be from this person that you've been thinking about, but it could also very much be from family members, people you haven't thought that you would hear from in a long time. Because I get, for whatever reason, they're showing me like raised eyebrows, like a surprise, like, whoa, I didn't see this coming. For a lot of you, this will be this person coming in, and maybe it's almost a good time for them to come back in. Now, I'm not saying you guys are getting back together and everything is hunky-dory. I'm just saying maybe now is the time for them to communicate with you, because maybe you've made a final decision on, if we ever communicated again, would I be willing to get back together with them? Would I be willing to have a conversation, or is it time for me to move on and complete that phase? All right. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month, and you have the Star card. So your read is really coming off with a very strong high vibration pull right now. The Star is hope. Okay. It's inspiration. It's looking out into the darkness and seeing a star, seeing that feeling of knowing there's something out there for you. So Scorpio, you've got this just energy this month of, like I said, with the Four of Wands, of knowing in retrospect that it's not about this person. It's not about somebody in your life. It's about you being happy with the blessings you already have. It's about you being happy with, okay, sometimes life deals us shit, right? But we can either dwell on that, or we can say, hey, by the way, I appreciate the fact that I got up this morning and, took a breath of air. I appreciate the fact that I have a roof over my head, or that I have, somebody to talk to, or whatever it is for you, food in my belly. There are so many things that we just don't look at the blessings. And I feel like Scorpio, this month, the end of the year, you're starting to go, but look at everything I do have. I don't need somebody to complete me. Does that mean you don't want love? Does that mean you don't want this person back? Does that mean they don't want you back? No, not at all. Quite the contrary. In fact, I feel like there will be communication here, but I feel like it's your understanding that this isn't make or break. This breakup or ghosting or whatever it has been isn't make or break for you anymore, because you understand there's so much more going on in your life that deserves accolades than just this situation. The next card you have is your distant past. So over the past 5-10 years, could be throughout your childhood, and you have strength. This is Leo's card, and you could, and this is Aquarius's card. Sometimes I forget to mention that. So you could be dealing with Aquarius, have Aquarius placements. Strength is Leo's card, so you could, same thing, be dealing with a Leo or have Leo placements in your chart. But strength is strength. It's patience. And it's also self-belief. It's self-perseverance. So the universe is saying in the distant past, you've gotten through and overcome so many things. Somebody's saying mental health to me too, like depression, anxiety, or maybe before when a breakup's happened, or maybe before when something hasn't gone a certain way, you meld that into dysfunctioning an entire spell of your life. Does that make sense? Like a few weeks turns into a very depressive state, or a very very hurt state, and the universe is saying, look, Scorpio, we're not doing that again this time. Whatever it was, and we've all been there. Trust me, I have been there, where you're sick to your stomach, you're weak in the knees. What's the point? Why am I getting, and you can dwell on that and make yourself miserable, or the universe is saying, no, we're not doing that, Scorpio. Like, we're not. We're persevering. We're pulling out of whatever this is. Again, understanding there's so much more to life than this situation. Yes, sometimes it's overwhelming and it feels like it just sucks the life out of you. But I just feel like this energy exploding around you, Scorpio, that's saying, no, we're not, we're moving on to another chapter if this isn't what's meant to be. You're not closing the door completely. I feel like you're leaving the window open, and I do feel like there's going to be communication, but you're definitely understanding that there's just so much more going on for you than that situation. The next card you have is your immediate past. So over the past few weeks, past month or two, you have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a self-imprisonment. It's self-doubt. It's confusion. It's feeling like you're not understanding what's going on. And for a lot of you, I feel like there was this moment where you went, this freaking sucks. I'm trying to hold back on the cuss words. I'm telling you guys what, you don't like the cuss words, I'm probably not the best reader for you. But like, literally, this is almost like you saying, I've been through this situation, it sucks, and da-da-da. But then all of a sudden you realize you're keeping yourself in that position. You have the ability to say, well, this really is a pain in the butt, and I hate dealing with breakups, and I don't like dealing with this, that, and the other, but it's not going to all time consume me. And I feel like for some of you the past month or two, you were on the brink of allowing this to be like a self-destructive, or be like a, very move into that more depressive state, or that burden state, or that very heavy, like dark place. And then you went, no, I'm not doing that. Because the Eight of Swords is about, I always use the same analogy with this card because it cracks me up. Like, this person could walk out the front door. Instead, they're going, whoo, I'm hung over the knives. There's no gun to their head. Nobody's pushing them. There's nobody else in that window that's making them do that. They're doing it to themselves, okay? And so walk out the front door. Start anew. Put a shirt on first, but literally walk out the front door and make your reality, make what you want, count your blessings, and then further your blessings and continue them in a direction that suits you. And then if the time is right and they do come back and communicate with you, you're out of the state of confusion because you're figuring out what it is you really want. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Ace of Swords, and that's exactly what this is. The Ace of Swords is logic, it's clarity, it's power. Right now, Scorpio, you are the epitome of having the power, to, supersede everything you want. And I know you're probably like, well, Dark Dove, I always have the power. Yeah, but we don't always act on it, or we act powerless, or we feel powerless. And this is you saying, no, I'm taking my power back. I know what I want, and I'm going to be very logical and very clear about my choices going forward, because I know how detrimental some of the things have affected me in the past. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks throughout December. Now, the Ten of Swords, don't get too nervous because we're going to clarify some of these cards, but the Ten of Swords is tragedy. It's a loss. It's an ending. It's a final completion, okay? I feel like some of you may be ending this, or because it's weird. I see this page coming and going, hey, Scorpio, I miss you. I care about you. And you kind of going, no, you don't bring to the table anything that's glowing in my life. You don't add to that. You don't add to this. So until you can, I don't feel like this is a finalization, like it'll never happen, because I feel like this communication is coming in and they're going to be very weary about it. They're not sure what to say. They're not, and you're kind of in a spot where you're like, no, I need to hear this, and this from you in order for you to even take up any more of my headspace or any more of my air space or any of my energy space, period. So I feel like you may be strongly considering never having anything to do with this person. Now, cross watchers, this can be reversed. So don't get too, upset in the comments saying, oh, this is them, this is them. I read for the sign that I'm reading for, period, point blank. So this could be you very well, Scorpio, saying, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm cutting this off completely. I'm ending this. But I feel like maybe it's because you see things clearly. Maybe you were not treated right. Maybe this person, it goes back to the old actions speak louder than words. Like when they communicate with you, I think you'll know dead on whether this person is changing at all, whether this person actually offers something or not, actually offers forward momentum. I'm going to show you something too. It's interesting because when I was shuffling the original deck, I had 2 cards flip and I thought, well, wait a minute. So, okay, how did this happen? I mean, obviously one end is, and then the other end. So this goes along very swimmingly with this because you have the Chariot here on one side, okay? And the Chariot is Cancer's card. So you could have Cancer placements or be dealing with Cancer, okay? The Cancer is forward momentum. So some of you are going to move forward with this situation. They will come in. There will be some hard times. There may be times where you're kind of like, I'm done, whatever. But then you have the flip side, which is the Knight of Swords, which is the opposite energy. So some of you are going to tell this person to fuck off and have nothing else to do with them ever again. Because the Knight of Swords is somebody who's very hostile and has some things to say. Okay? The next card you have is anything tangible that's going to happen throughout the month. It could be the beginning, middle, end, last for a day, a week. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is divine timing. It's about unplanned changes. You have no control over what's going to happen this month. There's going to be somebody who may come in and you may even say, okay, I'm willing to talk to you. And then they don't have anything to say. They don't actually bring anything to the table. And you're like, all right, well, you just answer that for me. Goodbye. I'm cutting that off. For others of you, this is like, okay, this is time. I know it because the Four of Wands has told me this person may bring brightness into my life. It goes along with the Star card. It's not that you've given up hope. It's the exact opposite. You're starting to regain hope. You're starting to regain enlightenment. What you're trying to figure out is if this person is this divine person for you or not. The next card you have, and like I said, it's going to be easy for some of you because right off the bat, you'll know. If they're texting you WID, and if you've seen my reads, you may have heard this before. I can't stand that. If I'm paying my bills and I'm making things right and I'm doing my thing and I'm taking care of my kids and my fur babies and whatever and taking care of family member, whoever, whatever your life is, and you're texting me WID and you don't even have the courtesy to text me, how are you doing? I miss talking to you. I hope you're well. Or pick up the phone and have a conversation with me. You're wasting my time because I deserve much more than that. And I think a lot of you will read into this communication from this person and know immediately whether you're going to end it or whether it's a karmic connection that's coming back around. All right. The way you're feeling throughout the month, again, could be the beginning, middle, end, is the Two of Pentacles, which is balance. Priorities change. You're changing. You've made progression. So you're realizing that with the Two of Pentacles, if this person comes in again and hinders your balance in any way, then I think you will have an ending and you will tell them this is not going to work. And for a lot of you, it will be the complete ending. But for some of you, you are balanced in your own, and that's what you needed to do too, because during this relationship, you were unbalanced and they were unbalanced. So there could be a stability coming back between the two of you. The next card is your hopes and fears, the outcome of the month. So yeah, somebody's coming in pretty quick, Scorpio, like really quick, because you have the Eight of Wands. And it's really weird when I was reading this card, I kept saying, and I don't know if you caught on to it, I almost said the Eight of Wands a couple times. It tripped me up. I had to say the Eight of Swords, and I was like, the Swords. But now you have the Eight of Wands, and 8 may be a significant number for you too. The thing here is the Eight of Wands is news coming in. And your hopes and fears is that I some of you may be nervous that this information, like you can feel it. You can feel that they're communicating, but they're going to be, because the Page of Wands is communication. Now, like I said, it could be somebody else coming in, but I think we both know that this person's been on your mind heavier and heavier. And when that tends to happen, you know that they're going to reach out. The Eight of Wands is somebody who comes in swift, quick. It's quick action. Sometimes it's forced movement. Like they may just be like, oh, you're going to talk to me because I miss you. I love you. I care about you. Like we really need to have a conversation. But again, I feel like you'll understand or be able to judge it from the initial communication. I think it'll be really quick for you to know whether this is something that's sincere or not sincere. It could also be news from afar. Like I said, a family member, somebody you haven't talked to, a child maybe off that you are not connected to, or there's some sort of disconnect here. You guys haven't spoken in a while, because this does represent news from afar coming in. And for some of you, I feel like that's family as well. All right. Your outcome card is the King of Swords, truth. This is justice. This is the King of Swords is very, this is somebody who's very, kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to say truth has spoken necessarily. Okay. But the King of Swords is very much like fairness. Like I treat you the way you treat me. And if you want something from me, then I expect to see it from you tenfold. I hope that makes sense, because again, it's just, it's fairness, it's truth. So for some of you, the truth is coming out. For some of you, this person is coming in, and for some of you, it's going to be a truth that you already know. You're like, okay, hey, jackass, like I already know that. I'm not dumb. I know you were seeing somebody, or I'm not dumb. Like I know you weren't giving me the attention I deserved. But it's almost like it's all out in the open now. So so now you can make, an educated decision on whether this person is really for you or not. Now, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is clarifying your King of Swords. The Ten of Pentacles is about legacy. It's about excess. It's about wealth. It's about having, I always feel like this definitely says somebody that is long-term in your life. So there is a good possibility that you guys make amends and make something happen. But I think there's going to be a very hard conversation, or a lot of truths coming out that need to be said, that need to happen for anything to move forward. Because this King of Swords is somebody who's like, like, not today. I was born at night, but not last night. I didn't fall up the turnip truck. Like, whatever cliche thing I could say, the King of Swords isn't having it. You want a legacy. This person wants a legacy, but are they deserving of your legacy? And it's not conceited. It's not like you're sitting here, Scorpio, going, oh, I deserve better than anybody and nobody's good enough. It's not that. It's just this person in particular. They need to come up and show up. They need to show up with like guns blazing, or it's not going to work. Going along with this ace, like you see things clearly now. So you're going to make a logical decision. You're going to make a decision based on something that makes sense. Now you have the Knight of Wands also clarifying your outcome card. The Knight of Wands is somebody who rushes in. There's a lot of forward, well, I don't want to say forward movement, because that would be the Chariot, and the Chariot decided to stay in the deck. But the Knight of Wands is somebody who's persevering, somebody who's moving forward, but also somebody who's very energetic, daring, wants your attention, wants to come. It's like communication, and then you have that Eight of Wands, and then you have this Knight of Wands, and it's like they're rushing back in. I don't know if maybe you finally decide to cut them off and say, sayonara, like I'm going to live my life, and you're not included, and all of a sudden they can tell. And it's starting to make them panic, because this person's feeling very panicky to me. Like they feel very, oh, I can't lose you. I can't lose you. And you kind of want to be like, well, okay, you've had plenty of time and my patience is thin, and you keep getting like 55 cards pulling out here. All right. So your clarifying card for the distant future is the Queen of Wands. And this is how you need to stand tall. She's full of ferocity, energetic. She's confident. People look up to her. And again, I don't apply sex to the card, so male or female, but this person is confident. And I think this is what I was talking about, where it's like your wherewithal, where you're kind of in this position where I stand on my own 2 feet. I'm good with or without you. Like Scorpio, you're on fire. I almost think your flame is burning, but that makes perfect sense with that. I keep getting double, so I'm going to try a few more times, and then if not, I'll just take the doubles. But again, the Queen of Wands is somebody who's just like, I stand on my own 2 feet, with or without you. And if you help my life, if you're excess and wealth in my life, because that is amazing, because that just flew over and landed on my other decks, and that's the same card here. It's just, you're looking for somebody who brings the wealth of possibilities and positivity into your life. And if they don't, you're fine. You're like, I'm standing on my 2 feet and I'm thriving and surviving. Now you have this Ace of Swords twice. So ones could be, you may see 111 or 1111. I know a lot of people do. Some people consider it angel numbers, what have you. But again, this this Ace of Swords, I think it's this crown throwing me off here. This Ace of Swords is very imperative because this is saying, Scorpio, you have figured out logic, clarity. This is power. The power is in your hands. Your future is in your hands. Stop with this. Stop with this Eight of Swords. This, I'm confused. I don't know which way to go. I'm self-imprisoning myself. If you're done with this situation, be done. And I know you're probably like, Dark Dove, it's easier said than done. Yes, it is easier said than done. But start making your way in that direction because the universe is going to start pushing you. And if your balance is feeling thrown off, you're off kilter and it's not going to work. But this person is coming in, I feel like very, not panicky. Well, yes, panicky, but also like they finally figured out that they want you and you're going, well, maybe a little too late. But you have the Ace of Swords twice, which again is clarity, logic, power. Like you hold the sword in your hand to make the decision on whether this person has a spot in your life or not. And I think for the first time ever, you're going, you know, you may have to wait a minute because I've got some things to think about. I have, you know, I'm not letting anything in that doesn't look clear to me. The clarity part is a very big part of this because I think you've been blindsided. You've been muffled before. It's been rose-colored glasses. And now you're looking at the situation going, nope, I'm going to think long and hard about this. And if it's not what I want, and if it doesn't feel good and it throws me off kilter, then it's not going to happen. But if it does, then maybe the universe is playing a part in divine timing. Maybe you guys can finally come together and realize, oh, okay, well, I've been waiting for a minute for this to happen. Finally happened. And now we are in the time and space where this can work out. So, all right, Scorpio, have an amazing December. I'll see you soon. Bye.